One of the things that I think we all want from everybody is forgiveness. Just a little bit of grace. That's all we're asking. In a world where we see this a lot, and religious people talk a lot about, finding grace and forgiveness in a being, a deity, in God, in Jesus, or whatever. But what about that? That's all good and great, okay? And I'm not here to get into the religious argument of this. I want to focus more on the personal grace that we should be giving ourselves. Every single day, people make mistakes. It happens. We fail to live up to sales quotas. We fail to meet deadlines. We fail in all sorts of things. Failure is just a part of life. And too often, I hear people beating themselves up over failure. Why are we doing this? Because we don't have enough influence. We don't have enough mindset. We don't have enough power. We don't have enough money. We're not living as well as the neighbor. We're not living in a big enough house. We don't have all the toys. Why do we beat ourselves up over the things that society tells us that we should have, want, or desire? I don't understand this. As a younger man, I was in my 20s and my 30s. I lived for the almighty dollar. I lived to make a buck, however I could. Now, at 43, I see things a little bit differently. I don't charge for the YouTube channel. I don't charge for the website. I don't charge for any of the content that I produce related to this channel. And there's a reason for that. The reason is because I'm comfortable with who I am as an individual. Me, that required a lot of therapy. I'm not afraid to admit it. I always tell people I've had kind of a screwed up life, and I've been part of that. I've caused a lot of that. But was it a screwed up life? Was it really a mistake? I've been in situations that I wish I could have gotten out of. I've been in situations where I wish people would have shown me some forgiveness, some grace, some leniency. I've been in situations where I regretted my actions. I've been in situations where I wondered why my parents made decisions that they made, and realized much later in life that maybe they just made the best decision that they could make at the time. The decision that they thought was right. We're all to blame for something. And I think maybe it's time that we stop shifting the blame to other people and stop feeling like we have to live up to a certain identity, a certain style. We should stop living like we have to live up to society's standards, because society's standards are becoming increasingly fake. And I think that knowing our place and knowing our position and knowing our stature in life is really where true power comes about. I do not believe for one single minute that we should be focused on living up to what society wants us to live up to. The best job. We want what we want, and we want it now, right? We want the things that our neighbors have. We want all these different things. But why do we want them? Whether it's pellet grills, seasonings, computers, technology, jobs, career aspirations, whatever it is. Why do we want these things? We want these things because society tells us that this is what we should want. It's like people of a certain age, around my age, will remember Alanis Morissette. And she talks about, the transparent dangling carrot that always stays right out in front of us. She also talks about that ever elusive kudo. Why are we chasing this? In my life, I've learned how to say thank you a lot. Gratitude is everything for me. And that's changed my life a whole lot. I am very thankful for the places that I've gotten to visit in my life. I appreciate them. I appreciate them now probably more than ever. New York City, Amarillo, Texas, Greensburg, Kansas, Omaha, La Junta, Colorado, Canyon City, Colorado, Rachel, Nevada, San Francisco, California, Fresno, California, Philadelphia. You name it. I've been to a lot of different places in my life. And I've become thankful for that because that shaped who I have become. I've become thankful for the Native Americans who have taught me so much, for the immigrants that I've learned from the people who are just random people on the street, the homeless, the beggar, the people that I've encountered. As a journalist, I've encountered a lot of people. And only now, looking back on it, I'm truly thankful for the lessons they taught me, not for the stories that I covered. I have learned that being happy with myself and being happy with life comes from inside, from within me. Not living up to an expectation, not trying to buy things or buy influence or even sell things. What I've learned is that my peace, my satisfaction with life, my competitive edge comes in the margins. What do I mean by margins? What do I mean that it says that I say it comes in the margins? It comes in the places of life that are often overlooked, the little places that we often forget, the places that we ignore. This is where grace in finding forgiveness for our mistakes really becomes important. Because when we look back on it, we often want to focus on the mistakes that society tells us that we are making. We could have a bigger house. We could drive a better car. We could have a better job. And you can have this too. And you can have it right now if you just log into our service. If you just pay this subscription. If you just buy this book. If you just take this course. You too can be a success and find the same success that I found. At some point, when do we realize that that's just a lie? The only way that we're going to find true success is being real with ourselves, accepting our failures, accepting our problems, and moving on. I've had the opportunity to interview some pretty high-name people, from athletes to CEOs to politicians, newsmakers of all type. But I've also had the opportunity to talk with everyday people. Normal people just going through life, doing their thing. And that's a really beautiful thing because by doing this, I'm able to see both sides of things. We all know what the talking heads, the newsmakers, the celebrities, the powerful people say. Well, what's life like for the everyday person who's failing? What can we learn from them? One of the biggest things that I think we can learn from them is that we can give ourselves some grace. We can forgive ourselves. We can let ourselves off the hook. And there's days where I fail at this. There really are. But I think the bigger picture for me is knowing that it's okay to fail and not live up to society's expectations. So when it comes to YouTube, when it comes to podcasting, when it comes to all these different things, it's okay to be who I am. It's okay not to have 1 million subscribers. It's okay to not live up to the standard, that's set out before us. For me, At my age, it's more important to be just who I am and accept myself, failures and all. Because those failures are what made me. I'm Matt. Thanks for joining me. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Everything that I do here is free. It doesn't cost you a dime. Even on the website, mattpierceblog.com. And on the podcast, just search the Matt Pierce Podcast. All of this is free because I want to bring you content that inspires you, that helps you, that engages you, and it doesn't cost you a dime. I want to help you find that grace, that forgiveness. So please, like, subscribe, comment, and share, and know that forgiveness starts within ourselves, in our hearts, and in our minds.